Hello everyone, welcome back. Emmanuel here once again, sending my loves to you, to those who are liking, those who are coming and listening to what I'm saying. Thank you for the support. Okay, let's continue straight away, no wasting time. As you know, we are still on chapter 8. Gawe mulaba tukyali ku chapter 8, the judiciary. Mwetwalabye the powers of the judiciary, netulaba the judicial courts, netulaba kuva wansi tutandikira ku high court, court of appeal, netudda ku supreme court. Netulaba supreme court, netulaba court of appeal, netulaba akulira supreme court, netulaba ayina omuddirira deputy aba ayina okulira court of appeal. So netulaba administration of the netulaba chief justice Owinyi Dolo, netulaba deputy chief justice. So kati tugenda ku constitutional court, that is chapter 137, I mean article 137, under chapter 8, the legislature. Okay, questions as to the interpretation of the constitution. Any question as to interpretation of this constitution shall be determined by the court of appeal sitting as the constitutional court. Court of appeal ejatuulayo nga constitutional court ng'eyina ebibuuzo byebuuza nga waliwo ababuuza ku constitution. So court of appeal yeyina otuula naye ejja kutuula nga constitutional court baddemu ebibuuzo. When sitting as a constitutional court, the court of appeal shall consist as a bench of 5 members of that court. Bwe batudde nga constitutional court, court eyo ejja tuula mu n'abamemba abo 5. A person who alleges that a person who alleges that an act of parliament or any other law or anything in or done under the authority of any law or any act of omission by any person or authority is inconsistent with or intervention of the provision of the constitution may petition the constitutional court for a declaration to that effect and for redress where appropriate. Buli omu kale katugambe nti waliwo omuntu aze okwemulugunya ku bamemba ba parliament oba ku authority yonna ng'agamba kino kye bakola si kituufu, ajja batwala kye bakola si kituufu according to the constitution, ajja batwala mu constitutional court, then bakole ki, batuze court of appeal ebeeremu bamemba 5, they see what they can do. Yeah. Okay. 4. Where upon determination of the petition under clause 3 of this article, the constitutional court considers that there is need for redress in addition to the declaration thought, the constitutional court may grant an order to redress or refer the matter to high court to investigate and determine the appropriate redress. Okay. Kooti bwesanga nti kino ekintu kyetaaga okuddamu okuliadressinga oba kyetaaga kyetaaga okuddamu kitunulamu, then constitutional court ejja kisindikawa mu high court, mu supreme refer matter to high court. Yeah, mu high court. Where any question as to the interpretation of this constitution arises in any proceeding in a court of law other than a field court martial, the court may, if it is of the opinion that the question involves a substantial question of law, and shall, if any party to the proceeding requests it to do it, refer to the question to the constitutional court for decision in accordance with clause 1 of this article. Oba obutakkirizaganya oba obutali bumativu bwonna nga article eri bwetugambye, omusango wajja kuba bagusindika mu high court egrifaringemu. Olaba like guno omusango gwa trying civilian in courts of law, in martial courts, gwabasukako ne bagusindika mu supreme court, I mean mu constitutional court, nga bagamba according to the constitution civilians are not supposed to be tried in martial courts. byonna ebyavaamu twabiraba. I don't want to go deep in that. I'm here just for the constitution. Okay. B. Shall, if any party to the proceeding request it to do so, refer the question to the Constitutional Court for the decision in accordance with Clause 1 of this article. Where any question is referred to the Constitution Court under Clause 5 of this article, the Constitution Court shall give its decision on the question, and the court in which the question arises shall dispose of the case in accordance with that decision. Omusango gwe bakoze eki oli gwawaabye nja kukozesa guno omusango nnyo ogwa court martial ng'etryinga civilians. Omusango ogwo aguleese Constitutional Court ejja gutunulamu. Bw'eraba nti emisango gyonna balina ogitunulamu egyo under that court ewaabye, then it shall be so. Okay. Upon a petition being made or a question being referred under this article, the Court of Appeal shall proceed to hear and determine the petition as soon as possible and may, for that purpose, suspend any other matter pending before it. Omusango gujja kubeera priority. Baguleeta Court of Appeal eba erina okuguwuliriza nga bwe bagambye Court of Appeal ejja kubeeramu abantu 5. Bwe baba balina emisango emirala, any other matters pending before it will be suspended. Wabaawo emisango giri mabega w'emisango egyo gijja kubeera suspended, right? Yeah. Okay. One second. Yeah. Okay. Awo tumaze tubadde tuli ku Constitutional Court. Then netudda ku the High Court of Uganda. The High Court of Uganda. The High Court of Uganda shall consist of the principal judge and such number of judges of the High Court as may be prescribed by Parliament. So, Honorable Justice Dr. Flavia Zeiga, principal judge of the High Court, at the same time, Deputy Chief Justice nga wetwalabye waggulu eri wetubadde tulaba yo yaddira ku Owinyi Dolo, then yo Deputy Chief Justice ate ye principal judge owa High Court, ate ye again High Court and a Court of Appeal. Okay, so such a member of judge of High Court as may be prescribed by the law. The High Court shall sit in such place as the Chief Justice may, in consultation with the principal judge, appoint, and in so doing, the Chief Justice shall, as far as possible, ensure that the High Court is accessible to all the people. So, bwabawo omusango nga gwetaaga otuula mu High Court, Chief Justice Owinyi Dolo ajja kuteesa ne Dr. Flavia Zeiga ne bateesa wa abantu we bagenda otuula, naye abo bagenda oteesa it should be favorable for everyone nga buli omu asobola okukola ki, nga buli omu asobola otuukawo. Okay, that was the High Court. Article 139, Jurisdiction of the High Court. The High Court shall subject to the principles of this Constitution. The High Court shall, subject to the principles of this Constitution, have ultimated original jurisdictions in all matters and such appropriate and other jurisdiction as may be conferred in or into the Constitution or other laws. High Court egenda beera etambulira mu line shall be under the original Constitution. Amateeka agali mu Constitution biki byonna byonna, it shall be under the jurisdiction as may be covered by the Constitution or by the law of land. Subject to the provision of this constitution and any other law, the decision of any court lower than the High Court shall be appealed to the High Court. Oh. So, nga constitution wegamba nti omusango gwonna oguli wansi wa court yonna eri wansi wa High Court, it shall be appealed in the High Court. Maybe it shall be appealed in the High Court before going in the Court of Appeal. Okay. Article 140, hearing of election cases. Okulira emisango y'ebyobululu. Where any question is before the High Court for determination under Article 86(1) of this Constitution, the High Court shall proceed to hear and determine the questions expeditiously and may, for the purpose, suspend any other matters pending before it. Oli bwaleeta omusango gwonna ogw'ebyobufuzi oba ogw'ebyobululu, any cases emisango yonna egibaawo, they will be suspended to the next what? Next period. Let omusango gw'ebyobululu should be heard first. This article shall apply in the similar manner to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court when hearing and determining appeals or questions referred to in clause 1 of this article. Omusango gw'ebyobululu ng'oba bakubbye kalulu, oba there is anything nga kikwatagana ku bw'obululu bw'ogutwala mu High Court oba mu Court of Appeal oba mu Supreme Court, any other cases that are there will be suspended first, and that will be heard first. Okay. Administrative functions of the principal judge. Administration functions of the principal judge. What on Dr. Jeff mirimu ki gy'alina okukola egy'amaanyi egimwetaagisa? What is his main functions? 1. Subject to the provision of Article 133 of this Constitution, the principal judge shall be the head of the High Court and shall in that capacity assist the Chief Justice in the administration of the High Court and subordinate courts and perform such other functions as may be delegated or assigned to him or her by the Chief Justice. Nga bwe twalaba mu article eri eyawaggulu article 132, 133, the principal judge, Dr. Zeiga, will be the head of the High Court and will be ajja kubeera mukulu wa High Court, ate ajja kukola nga Chief Justice Owiny-Dollo bw'amulagira, ate ajja kuyambako kooti endala eziri wansi waki wa High Court, and other roles as assigned by the Chief Justice. Okay. Where the office of the principal judge is vacant or the principal judge is for any reason unable to perform the functions of his or her office, then until a person has to be appointed to and has assumed the function of that office, or until the principal judge has resumed those functions shall be performed by a judge of the High Court designated by the President after consultation with the Chief Justice. Deputy Chief Justice oba Principal Judge wa High Court bw'aba taliiwo oba nga office ye eri vacant, emirimu gyonna egigye gigenda kukolebwa Principal Judge amuddirira, oba Principal Judge Owiny-Dollo gwasazeewo, oba Principal Judge Chief Justice, the current Chief Justice decides, but with consultation with the President. Okay. Appointments, qualifications, and tenure of office of judiciary. Yeah, office of judicial officer. Judicial officer. Biki ebiba byetaagisa appointing okubeera judicial officer? Let's see. The Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Principal Judge, Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice of the Justice of Appeal, and the Judge of High Court shall be appointed by the President, acting on the advice of the Judicial Service Commission and with approval of Parliament. Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, Principal Judge, Justice of Supreme Court, Justice of Court Appeal, Judge of High Court, abo bonna President ajja balonda naye ng'afunya advice okuva mu kakiiko ka Judicial Service Commission. Okiiko nga bungi. Judicial Service Commission naye bonna balina okufuna approve okuva mu Parliament. Where the office of the Justice of the Supreme Court or Justice of Appeal or a Judge of Court is vacant, office zaabwe bonna bwe ziba nga tezirimu alimu, like tezisobabaamu nga bonna tezirimu alimu, naye where that's like okusanga nga office ya Supreme Court ya Justice of the Supreme Court is vacant, a Justice of the Supreme Court or a Justice of Appeal or a Judge of the High Court is for any reason unable to perform the functions of his office. Obanga judge yenna aliwo nga tasobola kukola mirimu gya office ye, the Chief Justice advises the Judicial Service Commission that the state of business in the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal or High Court so requires the President may, acting on the advice of the Judicial Service Commission, appoint a person qualified for appointment as a Justice of the Supreme Court or a Justice of Appeal or a Judge of the High Court to act as such a Justice or Judge even though that person has attained the age prescribed for the retirement in the respect of that office. What? Okay. So, kino kibadde kiwanvumuko naye bakugamba nti office ya Chief Justice oba ya Deputy Chief Justice oba ya Principal of the High Court bwebanga teri vacant weba eri vacant teri mwalimu obanga alimu alisigninze obanga aba appointing omulala, Chief Justice ajja ku advising akatongola aka Commission of the Judicial Service Commission, then akakatongole kajja kutegeeza omukulembeze, then omukulembeze n'akatongole ako ne Chief Justice bajja kwegatta banoonye asobola okutwala ekifo ekyo oba ekya Deputy Chief Justice oba ekya Supreme Justice. Then omuntu oyo bagambye ne bwaba asuka emyaka egibeera appointed naye nga gwe balonze, then that shall be so. Bwangu obukadde magezi. Kakano kali wano, though that person has attained the age prescribed for retirement in respect of that office. Ne bwaba awezezza emyaka gya retirement naye nga bamwagala, he will be what? He will be appointed. Okay. 3. I need massage. A person appointed under Clause 2 of this article to act as a Justice of the Supreme Court, a Justice of Appeal, or a Judge of the High Court shall continue to act for the period of the appointment, or, if no period is specified, until the appointment is revoked by the President acting on the advice of the Judicial Service Commission, whichever is allied. Omuntu oyo gwe baba balonze okubeera nga Chief Justice oba Deputy oba Principal of the High Court ajja kusigala nga actinga until ekifo kye bakiteddemu omulala, until oba is revoked by the President. So naye nga if he is not yet revoked ajja sigala nga akola ki? Nga actinga. Okay. Let's see what are the qualifications for appointment of judicial officers. Article 143. Okay. A person shall be qualified for appointment as a Chief Justice. That's okay, Chief Justice. Appointing a Chief Justice if he or she has served as a Justice of the Supreme Court of Uganda or of a court having similar jurisdiction, or has practiced as an advocate for a period not less than 20 years before a court having unlimited jurisdictions in civic or criminal matters. katonda wange. Okubeera chief justice olina okubanga at least wabeerako advocate emyaka ago 2 oba nga wakolako mu Supreme Court nga judge oba wa practicing advocate for a period nga wa practicing mweyo court. Being a chief justice is not easy. Okay, deputy chief justice, what are his qualifications? Or principal judge, if he or she has served a justice of the Supreme Court, waba yabeerako mulamuzi wa Supreme Court, or as a justice of appeal or a judge of high court or a court of similar jurisdiction to such. Waba yasavingako mu Supreme Court, oba yabeerako judge wa court of appeal, oba yabeerako judge wa high court, then asobola okubeera deputy chief justice oba principal judge. Principal judge yakulira high court, deputy chief justice yakulira court of appeal, chief justice yakulira Supreme Court. Abo bonna bagendera wansi wani wa chief justice, but they have to be appointed by the president. Okay, atulabe qualifications of a person. The justice of the Supreme Court, if he or she has served as a justice of appeal or a judge of the high court or a court of similar jurisdiction to such a court, or has practiced as an advocate for the period not less than 15 years before a court having unlimited jurisdictions in civic and criminal matters. Okubeera omulamuzi like normal omulamuzi wa Supreme Court, olina okubanga wasavingako mu court of appeal oba high court nga omulamuzi, oba nga wasavingako nga advocate for 15 years. Jukira kubeera wa Supreme Court chief justice olina okubanga wasavingako for 20 years, naye judge in Supreme Court for 15 years. Okay, a justice of appeal, if he or she has served as a judge of the high court or a court having similar or higher jurisdiction, or has practiced as an advocate for a period not less than 10 years before court having unlimited jurisdiction in similar and criminal matters, or in a disguised jurisdiction and advocate for not less than 10 years. Standing, not less than 10 years. Okay, oyo mulamuzi akola ki? Agenda okola mu court of appeal. Nga bwe tugendera mu mateeka okubeera justice wa bwe tugendera mu matendera not mateeka, okubeera justice judge wa court of appeal. Court of appeal olina okubanga wakolako nga judge mu high court. Jukira court of appeal eri waggulu wa high court. So olina okubeera nga wakolako mu high court for a period not less than 10 years. Ekitegeera okubeera judge wa court of appeal. Nekirabika byonna byebimu. Kati katulabe okubeera judge of high court, ojja kubanga owetaaga myaka emeka. Kyova olaba kati ezo bajjaji bonna babeera mu myaka 5 ameka, bonna babeera bakadde kuba obukadde magezi. Okay, a judge of a high court, if he or she is or has been a judge of a court having unlimited jurisdiction in civil and criminal matters, or a court having jurisdiction in appeals from any such court, or has practiced as an advocate for a period no less than 10 years before a court having unlimited jurisdiction in civil or so. Okubeera judge mu high court, eyo court eya wansiko, olina obeera nga wakolako mu kooti zino kooti ezirimu unlimited jurisdiction, ng'ekola ku civil, ng'ekola ku criminal ne civil n'ebirala byonna. So olina obeera nga weebeerako judge and wabeerako advocate not less than 10 years. So awo ojja kubanga oqualifyingibwa okubeera judge mu high court. Okay, any period during which a person has practiced as a public officer holding an office for which qualifications and an advocate is required shall be counted in the registration for any period of the practice required under clause 1 of this article, even though that person does not have a practicing certificate. Gwe bofuna public office n'ogikolamu, then no qualifying as an advocate, then awe emyaka gyo gigenda banga gitandise okubala gumu ebiri ne bwobanga tolina practicing certificate. So it's better to first go and get and be an advocate when you're looking for a certificate. Ne bwanga tonafuna certificate naye ng'oli advocate, tovolaba in those requirements of Chief Judge, Supreme Court, bichi or no veranga you have been an advocate not less than 20 years, not less than 15 years, not less than 10 years okubera judge. So first get the advocate, then after go and look for a practicing certificate. I'm giving you an advice from the great Emmanuel Schofield. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And please like, share and comment. Thank you so much. Tomorrow or the next day we shall start on Article 144, tenure of office of judicial officer. Tenure of office of judicial officers. Thank you guys. See you next time. Bye.